First of all, Harry Maguire didn't do anything wrong. He played the ball to midfielder, give it away. And I feel like it's an easy target. I don't like that from Onana. I feel, are you doing that?
Easy target. Easy target. Like he's a 5'2", 16-year-old academy player making his debut. This is big slabhead Harry Maguire, ex-Man United captain, England regular, easy target.
Martinez, are you running after Rashford like that? I don't think you are. Maguire's an easy target, so I didn't like the look of that. I understand it if it was like a big mistake and it's cost a goal or...
Many times Maguire and other players in the past for Man United play balls into their teammates when their teammates are in bad positions, when they shouldn't be receiving the ball, when they're already being closed down. They almost pass that responsibility over. That is what's being called out here.
Or it was Harry Maguire's fault, fair enough, but I want to see that same energy for every player. From
the one thing, I tend to agree with you. It seems like bullying, but Schmeichel did all of that, didn't he?
Seems like bullying. I have never seen a goalkeeper berate a member of his defense and it called bullying ever. By the way, I'm a big fan of Adrian Durham. I've never, ever seen it called bullying in football before. Ever. I saw Jordan Henderson and Alisson go at each other last year for Liverpool. I don't remember anybody calling it bullying. The only other time I've seen an accusation of bullying is when Jose Mourinho was the Man United manager and he dropped Bastian Schweinsteiger, called bullying. Every other manager that I've ever seen drop somebody for disciplinary issues, quality issues, or just they didn't fancy them, it's seen as ruthless, calculated, tough and brilliant man management. But suddenly when Man United players or managers do the same thing, it's evil and it's bullying. And let me just tell you this now, from off the bat. Onana is a modern day goalkeeper, brilliant from playing out from the back. Suddenly, that's no longer important for goalkeepers. All I have seen in relation to the Edersons and the Alissons, the Reyes and others over the past 3 to 4 years is look how good they are at distributing. It makes them more pressure resistant. They create opportunities from it. Man United need this. Man United need this. Man United need it. Now we have a goalkeeper like that. They are tripping over themselves to call him a bully, to say he's nasty. They will downplay how good he is with his feet. They'll find ways of making it seem not important, and they'll overly focus on any mistake that he makes. He will make mistakes. I can already see them setting Onana up for failure. I can see the hatred. I can smell the hatred from them, but it isn't going to wash with me. It isn't going to wash in any way, shape, or form. This is one of the biggest hatchet jobs and biggest pieces of nonsense I have ever seen in my life. A bully. Do one, bro.
It's probably most comparable to, and not in terms of ability, but I've just worked it out.
Okay.
I was thinking more Kaka. Both quite.
Suck your mum, yeah, I said it, suck your mum.
What? That is what? I did not hear that right. I did not hear that right. Let me take a little listen.
That Kai Havertz is probably most comparable to, and not in terms of ability, but I've just worked it out.
Okay.
I was thinking more Kaka. Both
How dare you?
Quite tall and languid, but deceptively quite quick. I think Arteta thinks that Kaka is the mould of player that Havertz could become.
Blah, 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 blah.
I don't know what to say. Listen, I don't think the Kai Havertz... I don't think the Kai Havertz deal is as bad as some people were making it out to be. Let me just say that straight away. Set my stall out. But on a Gary Neville, that means on a level, by the way. Kaka. Shit my boots. I cannot. That has got to be scripted. Robbie has had to have written a script for him. It has to be scripted. That is the most outrageous Arsenal take I have ever heard in my whole life. Kaka is a Ballon d'Or winning player. Now, I know he's not saying he's as good as Kaka. I don't think there's anything about Kai Havertz's game that is reminiscent of Kaka. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not remembering Kaka correctly. I just don't. I just don't think they're similar in any way, any shape, or in any form. They're not. I'm not even trying to. I don't get it.
Stop it. Get some help.
More than Simon Jordan, it's Mikel Arteta. Now, look, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Mikel Arteta because he's an Arsenal manager and I don't want Arsenal to do well. But I have consistently been very respectful and very, appreciative and observing of what he's done at Arsenal. From a very early stage, I could see what he was doing. I think from a very early stage, he was very stubborn, he was very forthright, and he had a clear vision, and he was willing to lose his job on that vision. And many Arsenal fans turned against him, as we know. But in the long term, he's been proven right. He's taken a team that's not been anywhere near titles to a title contender in record time. And no doubt he wants to go again. This does not strike me as a manager or an Arsenal side that's going to go, we did really well last year. Remember last year, in 5 years' time, they want to go again. And some of the signings they've made, Declan Rice has been extraordinary. Havertz is almost Man United's mount. It could be a masterstroke. Timber's very intelligent. But this David Raya deal is cat amongst the pigeon times. This is the sort of deal managers make because they back themselves. They want the fans to back them, but they're not there to please the fans. They're there to make the fans appreciate the work that they do.
I agree. This is a ruthless piece of business from Mikel Arteta. Arsenal's PR around this deal will be competition for Ramsdale. And to a degree, there's truth in that. But you're bringing in a player with the quality, the ceiling, the ability, and the CV of a David Raya. And when I say CV, I don't mean trophies. I mean, just go and look at his body of work as a goalkeeper. Ramsdale's very good as well, by the way. But this ruthless streak is, listen, I'm happy with Ramsdale, but I think we could potentially do one of two things. Buy a better in Raya, or Raya coming in can push Ramsdale to another level. Either way, in 2 years' time, I don't think both of these players will be at the club, but it's about Arteta caring more about Arsenal's progression than it is the individual development of a said player. And he doesn't care about the fans' feelings towards Ramsdale because to a degree, irrelevant. It's about the progression of the football team. So I agree wholeheartedly with Goldbridge here. This is ruthless. This is Arteta saying, I'm not here to please you with making sure your favorite player or a goalkeeper that you've stand for 2 years, online against other goalkeepers remains the number one. It's about me improving that position and improving the team consistently so we do the most important thing, which is win trophies. And that's obviously what Arsenal are going to be judged on moving forward, is winning trophies. So it's absolutely imperative that deals like this happen. And I just think that the more and more and more I see of Arteta, again, I agree with Goldbridge. I don't want him to do well at all. Not in any capacity, but I've got to respect the work that he's doing and the brilliant team that I believe he's building.
Wait for it, 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 wait for it.
In terms of being a fan base, they're the most true to what they believe they are. Like their belief of who they are.
This is Rory Jennings talking about Tottenham, just so everybody knows from the start.
Doesn't necessarily correlate with who I see them as, but they honestly believe that the game should be played in a particular way, and they have the traditions, and it's the spirit of Glenn Hoddle and Chris Waddle, and they see the game being played in a particular way. Do you remember they used to sing about Gareth Bale? He was born to play for Spurs. They honestly see that, and they believe in things like that, and that's all well and good. But it has to be juxtaposed with silverware. And, they also have the traditions of being a great cup team. They won 2 League Cups since 1991. They talk about being a big club. They think they're a big club because their great-granddad saw them win a double. Something needs to change here. something needs to be realigned, because there is a redefinition of who Tottenham are going on at the moment.
Listen, I agree. I agree with Rory here. I disagree with some of the things he says, and I know Rory gets a lot of stick online, but I think he's spot on with this opinion when it comes to Tottenham. Spot on in every single way, shape, and form. I think they are renowned for playing some pretty good football, but Tottenham fans, generally speaking, I think they believe they sit on the same table as Chelsea and Arsenal from a London point of view. Historically, you can argue that, but over the last 30 years, they've fallen away. Yes, they've had a period of time under Poch, it was, where they were finishing above Arsenal. The football was beautiful. They got to some League Cup finals, Champions League final. They were in a title race where they came third. But they got to win trophies. For me, look, Newcastle haven't won a trophy in a long time either, but Newcastle, with what they're building and what they're doing, is going to be very damaging to them. I look at what Aston Villa are now doing. And the thing is, when you look at these clubs that are historically big, they've got huge fan bases, they've been at the top flight game for the vast majority of their lifetimes. Trophies matter. Style of football is part of it, but trophies matter. And you can't just ignore recent history. You can't ignore 30 years, because that is a considerable amount of time. Just go back to 1991 and look how different the world was then compared to now. So I want to ask Tottenham fans this question. Where do you genuinely see yourself in the hierarchy of English football? I want to understand it. It's a great point raised by Rory Jennings here. I want to understand it. Make sure you're all hitting like buttons. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you've all turned on the bell notifications as well. Big shout out to our title sponsors, OneFootball. Make sure you're downloading their app today. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.